for Draper Radio.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Blais.
Hey, what's up out there? It's Mr. Sawicki.
Hi, everybody. It's Miss Niles.
Welcome back. Holiday season.
We are here again.
I'm going to be more cheery on this take. This is actually take two, and the first time I was kind of like bah humbugging it, so I'm actually glad this is take two.
Yes.
The holidays are awesome, but they're also very stressful. And as I'm sure you guys can understand, as middle school educators, them kids be crazy right now. Like, it is
Too many candy canes and too much sugar.
lots going on right now.
I think we're all ready for a break. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think my battery got unplugged last
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks to that Panera.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, my
Panera
gosh.
cookie.
Shout out to Mr. Blaze's daughter, Belle, coming through with the
Kitchen sink.
kitchen sink. It was delicious.
So good.
Yes.
Guys, there's pretzels in this cookie.
Yeah.
Pretzels
It's not
and
going to change
chocolate
my
and
opinion
salt.
on Panera. It's not going to change my opinion on it, but that was good. It was a good cookie.
It was like the perfect consistency too. It wasn't
Maybe I'll
too.
just-
It wasn't too doughy. It wasn't too like crumbly. It was a nice.
It was
perfect
delicious.
Middle.
Maybe I'll just view Panera as a cookie store now. I'll go in there and just
Well,
buy
it
the
is a
cookie.
bakery. That was their whole shtick.
Yeah.
That's always been their shtick.
Quick recap from last episode. Me trashing Panera. It's come back for round two. The cookie was awesome, though.
The cookie was
It
so
was
good.
awesome.
Thank
So-
you.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes.
It was a nice surprise to come in.
I
and
see
have
what you're
something-
doing. This is a corporate play.
We're just
The Blaze family's trying to get their hooks into my capitalism. All right.
we're just enjoying.
Just hooking your stomach.
Yeah,
nice
right.
product.
I see what's going on here.
Let's put out there.
Conspiracy theory podcast now. I'm Mr. Sawicki. I hooked on Panera. Chapter 1. Be a Netflix series one day.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Documentary.
Maybe that'd be a good future topic. Like, what would be like your Netflix series about you? Like,
About me?
What would it all be
Oh
about?
man,
Yes.
it'd be the most boring series ever.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. She went to bed at 9 o'clock.
Well,
in the
hey, that's
evening.
okay.
Yeah.
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 All the zany stuff that's gone on, but
Oh,
Now, different story if you're talking about this place. 'cause,
Yeah,
you
true.
know, we love
True.
what we do, but at the same time, it is crazy.
it's tough.
We got
it ain't
lots
easy.
of stories.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day's
Just
different.
a couple.
I'm
Yeah.
life in the day up.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's
Oh,
why I
yeah.
love people's retirements. You go to a retirement party.
Oh yeah.
It's like, let me tell you about the last 30 years of insanity.
Oh my gosh.
They just go for it.
We have a colleague that no longer works with us, unfortunately. You guys probably know her, Mrs. Keith.
Oh, yeah.
She
Shout out
moved
to
on.
Keith.
Yeah, she's moved on to a new district, but she had a folder.
Oh,
She-
yeah.
She had a folder, and she would write down the events and all the things that would happen and the stories that were told, and she would gather evidence and have pictures and stuff. Like,
Sure.
she has a folder of the quote unquote evidence.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
things
wow.
that have gone down here.
Oh,
And it is
geez.
hilarious.
Wild.
It
hilarious.
is. You can't make it up. I remember when I think this is the COVID era. I don't know if I was home or where. Yeah, I think I ended up being home for the holidays, which was kind of
Yeah.
like a big,
Yeah, I
big
remember you
bummer.
telling me about that. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Locked in a room by herself or something.
yeah, so everyone was quarantined to their. I was just a hot
Wah,
mess.
wah. That was a bummer. Every year.
Yeah,
Christmas spirit.
but no,
was-
we did. So remember David Letterman,
yeah.
yeah, of
right?
course.
The top 10.
Top 10 list. Yeah.
So we did a top 10 of things you thought you'd never say as a teacher.
yeah,
oh,
for real.
yes, that's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I had I think my top 10, the one I put in was please stop hitting Baby Yoda with a lightsaber.
Mhm.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say that, but it was in a Google Meet and the kid
Yeah.
Yep.
had a Baby Yoda, and every time the kid came, I swear he had an arsenal. Remind me of like
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves in The Matrix is like
Yes.
load
I know.
whatever, like load guns, and all of
And
a
it
sudden you
would
see
come
like
up.
All your
like
stuff,
the library
yeah.
aisles of guns.
Yes.
And this
Yep.
kid came out like,
This was on the computer he was doing this? Like,
yeah,
having a
And he had
phone duel?
his,
and stuff?
his camera on. 'Cause
And
they
his
would never
camera
have their
was on.
cameras
He
on.
was,
Yeah.
it was a
Sure.
great showmanship.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
My weirdest, I'll never forget, some kid was literally in his pool, laying on a floaty on his back and his Chromebook on
That's
like his
awesome.
chest.
I'm sorry,
Like,
but
I was like, are you like in your pool? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, but he's there.
I know
you
he's there. He was in
there.
class.
I had a couple funny ones. I had one kid that would always go to work with his dad, like during the day, and so he'd be like in his dad's work van
Mhm.
in class.
Cool.
Like you see sometimes his dad popping in the background grabbing tools or whatever,
Sure.
and he's just sitting there like in class
That's
at
right.
work with dad.
Dedicated, you
Yep.
know?
That's
And
right.
then I
like
had
that.
another one. I had an all virtual class, so all
yep.
of the kids, it was like
Mhm.
30 kids or so that never came into school for that school year, they just attended virtually. And it was block 5-6, which for us is like right around lunchtime.
Oh, yeah.
But for us who are at school, like we don't, we have lunch after for 7th grade. So our lunch is period 7. This one kid, without fail, would have the most delicious lunches, and he'd be eating them with his camera on during my class. And very often, and you guys all know this because we just talked about it, very often it would be Taco Bell. My favorite. My favorite. I was so, he's just sitting there chomping on his Taco Bell, and I'm trying to teach class, like so hungry because my lunch is next period.
Yeah. You're like,
or it's a bleak lunch. Like, all right, great. I have a sandwich.
Great. I have a salad today. Awesome.
Yep. I have a cheese sandwich.
Yeah. And that goes into sometimes we don't want to watch like a regular series, like maybe it's too intense. We just want something kind of like a no-brainer. We'll watch a food show. We kind of, it's our default. Like, I don't know if you've seen the show, like Somebody Feed Phil.
No.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I call him, here's the best way I can describe him. And if he's listening, thank you. Phil Rosenthal. And I call him the Mr. Rogers of the food world. I want to meet this guy. He's going out and the food he gets served is phenomenal. He goes behind the scenes and he'll take the person who's serving him food and he's like, how about you play me and I'll go get your food. Where do I need to go? And like, he's just so kind, loves everybody, loves food passionately. And anyway, so we'll be watching that at night and I'm like, there was a time period, this is before we were like burnt out, crazy tired. My wife would be like, watching the show and I'm like, oh, I got a hankering for something. And my wife does the salt on the brownies, makes like a fresh batch of brownies. Just she always happens to have certain ingredients for these sorts of moments. Because when you're watching a food show, I dare you, try not to eat.
Yeah.
Try not to.
You can't be hungry and watch it. Yeah.
I wish they, like I could like smell it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks, and they must mic like the fork cutting.
Oh, yeah. The ASMR aspect of the whole show is awesome.
That's so huge.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I digress. The food.
What's this episode about today?
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think of how we can transition this one. Yeah. Well, we'll let you take this one, Miss Niles, because it was one of your, Mr. Whipple's idea, and then Miss Niles ran with it. So
so Mr. Whipple actually came up with the idea of doing a holiday movie draft, and so last year we did an episode we called the Holiday Movie Showdown, where we had a number of guests. We each selected a movie. And we talked it up, we summarized the movie, and then we basically asked our listeners to vote on which movie they thought was represented the best.
Kind of devolved to the 5 was just like yelling at each other for like an hour.
Pretty much, yeah. Just,
this is why it's the best.
And this is why yours is terrible.
You're wrong.
Yours is so bad. Yeah. So we're all big movie fanatics here, and so we wanted to kind of stick with talking about holiday movies. So we decided to kind of change things up by doing a draft. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select one by one our favorite movies, holiday movies specifically, and just briefly defend our selections. And I think we'll probably go through 2 or 3 rounds. Yeah. Talk about why we're picking that movie over other movies and talk about, why we think these movies are superior over other movies. Okay. And then
I dig it.
And then we're going to mix it up a little bit and do some other cool stuff with you guys as well.
Epic.
So that's the plan.
I love it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was probably, I think if I looked on our episode, analytics, and it was the Christmas time, the last time we did a Christmas movie, debate with 5. We had
5 of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was probably one of the most listened to that we had because people, we tried to pick topics that evoke, discussion. And I just want to say thank you. Special thank you to our most recent subscriber, our security monitor, Scott, who was like, oh, Drip, where's that? Cool. He goes, oh, go in. He's number 50, the lucky
50. All right, cool.
So we have 50 subs. I think it was. All right. Was it on YouTube? I think it was a YouTube one.
Cool.
Yep.
Sweet.
So we're getting
welcome aboard
there, and
getting our community.
The shorts, people are checking out the shorts.
Sure.
Not my summer shorts, but the YouTube shorts.
Well,
because it's winter time here.
Yeah.
You do you.
Although our students still wear shorts to school.
I know. I was that kid, middle school.
Were you?
Yeah. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Was all year.
Can you help me understand?
Because you come into a classroom or a public building and it's hot.
It's hot? Okay. So it is a temperature thing.
I'd rather endure 2 minutes outside of freezing. You walk into a building where you know it's going to be hot.
So it's not a style choice.
Let me be comfortable. Well, for some kids, it's okay. But it was shorts all year.
Okay.
Shorts and a hoodie. Good to go.
I had a friend like that. Now I think I mean, he wore it to high school, and this guy he could jump in. He'd be the first guy to do the polar plunge. No problem at all.
Yep.
He's got a camp up in Schroon River there. But, yeah, he would wear them year round. Now I'm thinking, my gosh, what if there was an emergency and I had to go help somebody? Now I'm thinking, Practical Pete.
Yeah.
So that's happened to us. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like 10 years ago. We had a fire alarm right around now at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I don't remember what caused it because we had a lot that year.
The squirrel. Wasn't it a squirrel?
I don't know if it was the
squirrel.
that was electrical. We lost electricity.
Yeah, cool.
With the squirrel. Infamous squirrel. Apparently a squirrel chewed through some kind of wire somewhere that was important, and we ended up losing electricity in our whole building for like 3 hours or something ridiculously long.
Wild.
Yeah, they almost sent the kids home. It was so long. But no, we had a fire alarm, and it was a real fire. I think we had a legit fire. It was Christmas time because I remember we were all freaking out because we all had not allowed Christmas lights decorating our classrooms.
Not me.
No, never. I would never not say
you have to use
Christmas
energy
lights.
efficient.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You have plug in like string lights in your classroom?
Nobody does that.
No.
But no, we all had them up, and we also had them in the hallway because we have a door decorating contest every year. So all the doors were like awesomely decorated.
But they're not street legal.
They're not. And I remember being particularly concerned because that year my students decided, we made like a snowman display. My students decided to take tissues, like Kleenex tissues, and staple them to the bulletin board that's right outside my classroom door to look like snow.
Which is
and it overlapped with the lights though.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm like, oh my gosh, did my display cause the fire? But anyway, so this was at like 2 o'clock-ish. It was right at the end of the day. The fire alarm went off. We all had to exit the building. We were outside for like half an hour. No one knew where to go, what to do. The kids couldn't get back in to get their stuff. They ended up sending us to the high school gym.
Yeah, I do remember.
Because it was too cold
to
stay outside, but everybody still had to stick around at the end of the day so we could go back into the building and get our stuff, but the building had to be cleared because it was a legit fire. And I kept thinking about these kids that are out there in their short sleeves and shorts.
Yeah, and they're trying to like tuck in like a turtle does in its shell. Yeah, out there.
Or then you've got the kids though that are like knee deep in snow, just throwing snowballs in their shorts. Like they don't care. They're loving it.
If my little guy Ollie was here, that would be him. I mean, countless times. I think he's part. If you watch Lord of the Rings, like when they were climbing up the mountain and they took the mountain pass.
I was watching that last night. Yeah,
right.
Trudging through the snow. But then
with what on their feet?
Nothing.
Hobbit
feet.
That's Ollie.
Yeah.
But then there's Legolas like a jerk walking on
their
snow.
Feet, though, so it's almost like they have some.
We'll have to get into Lord of the Rings.
Light as a feather.
You a Lord of the Rings fan?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Cool.
Yeah. That I think maybe sometime
Legolas is cool, but kind of a jerk.
He's a jerk, but they're not very emotional. Their race is just not emotional.
What type of personality?
Elves are like that.
Personality would that be? Like you say A and B. I always forget them.
Oh yeah.
A is more like straight, like follow the rules, very organized, like black and white.
Right.
And then B is kind of like I'm just going with the flow, la 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 la.
Yeah, that'd be like Mary or Pippin.
Yeah, 100%.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Second breakfast.
Legolas.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the stormtrooper, like they show the emotions of a stormtrooper. And happy, sad, angry.
Same.
Legolas do the same thing.
Yeah, same face.
Yeah. What do you see with your eagle eyes, Legolas?
Yeah. See, it's a weird tangent, but also connected. I feel like Lord of the Rings to me is a Christmas movie because that's when it came out.
Okay.
In 2001 and 2 and 3. Yep. It was the big December draw. Like my whole family would go see the Lord of the Rings. I mean, it has nothing to do with Christmas.
Right.
But I just remember that feeling, the theater being packed, the mall being packed. So I'm rewatching it right now. I was watching it last night.
Yeah.
December, got to put on Lord of the Rings.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You remind me that we usually do that throughout the year. We start with The Hobbit. We'll go through, which is 3 parts, which we don't know why it's 3 parts. There's only one. But
it's a little more painful.
Well, it was a way to,
you know what? It's one of those things that I've gotten more attached to the characters. Like I've cried. Like I'm like watching it. The more you watch it, the more you understand why it was done the way it was. And but let
me guess. There was the scene where Aragorn's like, "You bow to no one."
Oh yeah.
And the hobbits everybody bows to the hobbits. Yeah. And
what gets me too is like when Gandalf is coming in. And they're coming into the Shire. The music they play, I get goosebumps. When they come
music
to the Shire,
films, sure.
It just like we're talking today is like there are certain songs, like the intro. I was listening to like the intro to like Elf, and
Happy, peaceful.
I won't.
Yeah.
My daughter would probably just like get cringed out. So I was like, I was talking the other day about, does this artist sound like Sia, S-I-A, Sia? How do you say it?
Sia, right? Sia.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I'm like, she's kind of got, for me, like this Adele vibe. And I was like, no.
Like, stop talking, Dad.
No. Okay. I'm like, well, listen to it. Pretend you're me. Pretend you don't know as much as about singing.
Yep.
She was like, see? Like, she played Rolling in the Deep. I'm like, tell me you don't hear it.
Okay.
But anywho.
Yeah.
I know we could. It's a variety show.
Yeah. I got lost in that topic.
Always.
Yeah. It's like a buffet.
Yeah. You need to mix it up.
Yeah.
So
how do we?
Any podcast that's like that.
Yeah. No, seriously, go on tangents. How do we start off this draft? I'm kind of the new person to like. I've never done like fantasy sports or nothing.
No,
so not my jam.
No, same.
So educate us. How do we? What's the?
So we have to decide the draft order.
Okay.
And so we.
Okay.
Mr. Blais has just decided that I'll go first, which I said I'm not going to argue with that. So,
was it was in the chat we had going?
Yeah. Mr. Blais was like, Jenna can go first, and Miss Niles can go first.
I missed that.
And I was like, all right.
Okay. See, for my lack of knowledge in draft two, what I was thinking is I was giving you first choice of
sure.
That's what I.
Well,
yeah.
I'm confident in my debatable skills. So
yeah.
So we'll each pick a movie and we'll just talk about why we're selecting that movie. But the problem is that you guys can't pick those movies once they've been picked.
Taken.
Okay.
So it's taken. So then you might have some in mind, but someone might, get sneaky and steal one out from underneath you. And then now we got to scramble and come up with a new selection.
Okay.
Well, I have IMDb at the click.
He's cheating.
Ready to roll.
Yeah, right. You know what? I don't know if I've watched one of the movies. Like, I've watched most of them, but one of them I did.
From our little teaser trailer. Okay.
Our teaser trailer was just that, a teaser trailer. We don't have to stick to it.
That's true.
And I'll tell you something right now. I don't plan to.
Wow, curveball. I hope you ain't picking Die Hard 2 because that movie stunk. I'm sorry.
Are we going to do this right now? Are we going to do this right now?
I'm going to get in the competitive spirit.
We're going to talk about this right now.
All right, so let's rock and roll here. All right, Miss Niles.
Okay.
What do you got?
All right, so this isn't a surprise for those of you who heard last year's episode, because the movie that I selected to defend in last year's episode, or not defend, but like talk up, was Home Alone. Yeah. So my first draft pick is the original first Home Alone movie.
1990. Home Alone.
1990. Okay. I think we've all, at least we know what it's about.
Never heard of it. No.
Never heard of it. Okay, well, I will give you the synopsis, sir.
Is there somebody that probably hasn't heard of it? I don't know.
Somebody probably hasn't. And if you haven't heard of it, you can go back and listen to last year's episode, because I gave a very detailed description of the plot of Home Alone.
Turn off this episode and go watch it first.
Go listen to last year's episode and then come back to this one. But I'm selecting it because it's timeless.
Yeah.
It's timeless. Every year at the end of the like holiday break time, I kind of like, I don't want to use the word bribe. That's exactly what I'm doing, but I basically bribe the kids and I let them, for the last class of the week leading up to Christmas, for the last 15 minutes of class, watch a movie. And then on the last class that I have with them before the break, we finish the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
And it has to be earned. It's a privilege. It's something that
totally.
If they've been really good and they've been working hard, then okay, we'll take 15 minutes and we'll watch a movie. And I give them a small selection that they can choose from. Without a doubt, they always, the current now 2024 7th graders, choose Home Alone. That's what they want to watch.
Yep.
They don't want to watch anything from their generation. They don't want to watch anything they don't want to watch anime. They don't want to watch the other things that they might typically watch every day. Okay. They want to watch Home Alone. And I have to say, it appeals to today. It appeals to us when we were kids. Yep. I mean, I was in kindergarten or first grade when it came out.
Yep.
That's crazy,
I know. And I think I've watched it every holiday season since. And I have little traditions with myself, just with myself. I don't know why I do this, but there's certain things that I do
defending your home with booby traps. Defending your home with booby traps.
100%. Every year I just set up all the Home Alone booby traps, and then I invite my friends to come over and test them out. No, I've got like things that I do every year, and one of the things that I do is I decorate my whole house, and I'm very much into Christmas decorations. Yeah. I mean, my house looks like a Hallmark movie. Like there's lit garland everywhere, and I decorate every lit garland with like individual little like ornaments, and so I do that over. It's ridiculous. It takes this year actually. I let my fitness tracker go, like run. While I was doing my decorating. Yeah. I burned 2,300 calories.
Wow, that's intense.
Over a 7-hour period. Because I'm going up and down the basement stairs and carrying things, and I'm going up and down ladders.
Bins, and so that's a new sport. Like know, like hardcore,
just like hardcore decorating. Yeah,
especially if you go like I'm thinking like you're doing lights. Like outside, like up and down
ladders and stuff. Yeah,
it's a good leg workout. Just consider that your leg day, right? Yeah. No, I just wanted to see because it's always such a like feat. Like it's always such a like it's a whole day event, and my family helps, but I do most of the work. And I always, when it's all done and everything's cleaned up and all the decorations are up and I'm sitting in the dark with just the Christmas lights on, mind you, we don't even do the tree. We do the tree the next weekend. That's a separate event. I
agree.
Separate endeavor.
But my first Christmas movie that I watch when everything's decorated and the vibe is right is Home Alone.
Yeah. Cool.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year. There's just something about it that just makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I've got to pick it first.
Element.
Yeah. I see all that.
Yeah.
Can I challenge your timeless statement, though? We'll be allowed to do this in the draft?
That's why we're here.
Okay, perfect. Like, I love Home Alone. Let me start by saying that. Preface it. But I have noticed that in terms of timelessness, rewatchability. I've been a big rewatchability kick recently. Different podcasts I listen to called The Rewatchables. They bring these things up. Home Alone today in 2024 would never work.
Oh, no, 100%.
Right. So that's why I have to obviously, because I was like, I was 6 years old when it came out, so I remember. Yeah. But I'm just thinking now, and I'm even surprised that kids don't bring that up. If Kevin had a cell phone, the entire Home Alone movie would not happen. It would have to be like the cell phone towers are down. Or cell phone towers, but then think about all the other fail-safes. We have Blink cameras in our house. Oh, I could pull up my phone. I could check. Oh, there's Kevin. He's in the house. He's okay. But also, it's all based on Wi-Fi. So it would have to be something like the internet and cell phone service is down. I know. I just feel like, there's down. But there's so many other layers where it's like, all right. Right. It had to be set in 1990 for it to take place. And just to me, that kind of takes it out of the realm of modern watchability. But obviously, it's chock full of other stuff. So. It is, yeah. And I think it's also nice to think of the simpler times. Yeah, of when that took place. Oh, I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. Well, hey, simpler. Take my cell phone away from me. You look at that. I'm happy. You look at that house, right? Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, and the craziness going on. I'm thinking we have a family of 5, and it feels like that. Mm-hmm. And we get outside, times like my wife's brought Noah to school, and he's like, "Mom, I don't have my shoes." Yeah. Dude, how'd you leave the house? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a family of 5. And how many people are in the house? Yeah, when the relatives come? There's 11 kids. 11? 4 adults. Almost. The oldest daughter's counting. Yeah. Right. Oh, there's 11 kids. There's 7. There's 7 for one family and 7 for the other family. But not all of them are their kids because remember, the cousins were there. Family, right? The aunt and uncle that live in France. Right. Their kids were still there. Right. In the United States. Oh, okay. It's true. Yeah, I forgot about those 2. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So you had a lot. It was a big family. It could have easily, right? I mean, someone could have taken his phone. Mm-hmm. If you had a phone. You could make it work. True. So Macaulay Culkin, who plays Kevin in the movie, as an adult, did do a commercial. Yeah. An adult version of if this happened now as an adult. Oh, no way. I honestly can't remember it very well. Was it for Google products? It was a commercial. He's like, hey, Google, lock my doors. Commercial? Yeah, it might have been a Super Bowl ad. Yeah. And it's been a while since I've seen it, but I just remember that they couldn't afford, or Joe Pesci wouldn't come back and do it, but you would see his silhouette outside walking past the curtains, and he'd be like, hey, Google, turn on the floodlights out back, and they'd run away. That's awesome. Right. Oh, that's a great play on that. But maybe that the rewatchability, I'm thinking I have cameras, floodlights. So there was the newer Home Alone movie that came out on Disney Plus a year or 2 ago. Oh, really? I don't think I saw that one. Yeah. So it's called Home Sweet Home Alone. Oh, sounds I didn't see it though. So I saw it once. It's okay, but what I liked about it was that the script
was flipped, and it was a set of parents who were trying to break in, and you wanted them to win. Like you wanted them to.
Okay.
So what happened was the father figure in the movie, he had like a rare toy, and his family's going through financial crisis, and he finds out that the toy was worth a ton of money.
Yeah.
And a little kid had stolen it from him. And so the parents were trying to break into the little kid's house to get the toy back,
right?
So that they could not be in financial problems anymore.
Sell it on eBay.
So you're rooting, quote unquote, for the robbers in that situation.
Right.
I thought that was kind of cool.
That's cool.
Was the movie like awesome? No.
Yeah,
sure.
Was it? Is it going to be watched every year from now until I'm 40.
How many Home Alones are there? I know there's 3. My wife loves 3.
There's 3, and then there's this new.
There was a 4th one too, wasn't there? Though? Yeah, I think there was a 4th one. So it might be 5 total.
The 3rd one didn't have Macaulay Culkin in it.
Right, that was the first one to deviate. Yeah, because he was like older.
I want to say Scarlett Johansson is. Yeah,
she was. She was the older sister. Yeah.
But I just thought that was kind of a neat twist on the plot. Was making you root for the people trying to break into the house.
Wow, there's been
the one in the
been 6.
No, there hasn't.
Home Alone's 1, 2, 3. Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House. Holiday Heist was 5, and then Home Sweet Home Alone 2021.
Well, maybe I'm saying the wrong. No, I think that is right. I think Home Sweet Home Alone is the one I'm talking about.
That's the recent one.
Yeah,
a reboot on Disney Plus. Okay.
Yeah,
that's just kind of like milking.
Yeah.
To me at that point.
But see, that
100%.
That might be a part of this discussion though too. Like, if the one film is great, does it spawn sequels? Does it create a franchise? Because there's other ones we talked about that have some work better than others, but maybe that's something to discuss.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Sequel. I know we talked about I don't know if we talked about this when we had actually Miss Keith on. She came on for the book or the movie? I think that was the episode.
Miss Keith.
Miss Keith.
Oh boy. No, she was streaming versus home theaters.
Streaming. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe in one of those we talked about. Certain movies, or maybe mentioned it, like movies that we shouldn't see sequels of.
Yeah.
For example, like Goonies.
Right.
I don't want to see
no Goonies 2. No.
Or even
I don't think I've ever seen it.
What? Pause the podcast.
Goonies 2?
Oh, no, this doesn't exist. No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought
you never
seen
saw the Goonies
a million times. So it
let's say, Record Scratch.
What?
My wife talked about
that's one you
it,
shouldn't touch.
And I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to see the Truffle Shuffle at that age.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Unless he's teaching his son, you lift your shirt up and shake your belly.
I don't know. Sometimes that model works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know? I just saw Beetlejuice this week.
How would you think?
I thought it was okay. It was good.
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah,
it was solid.
Yeah,
I liked the original way better, but this was okay.
It held up, but
didn't blow my mind. But
and you see the big why? Why would you making the sequel? Are you making it because
money.
There's a fan? Well, always money, right?
Or we're living in the nostalgia realm right now. Everybody wants to see stuff from the 80s and 90s brought back.
Look at Disney, right? I mean, I'm trying to think of how many movies they have not made live actions of.
Yeah.
To rekindle that flame.
Yeah, I know.
And
true.
some are okay. I mean, the Little Mermaid live action.
I never saw it.
We turned it off.
And The Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney movie, and I never saw it.
My wife and I turned it off for
it just I don't like messing with something I already love.
Why are you? And why are you? Oh no. Okay.
It's the money.
You want some homework and from an artist perspective. So they had oh my gosh, why am I a flounder and Sebastian
Scuttle
and
Scuttles,
all those creatures. The new CGI version, people on Reddit were like poking fun and laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would you drastically? I mean, I could see obviously 3D is going to make them look cooler, but you completely changed it.
I remember the flounder was horrifying looking.
Really?
Yeah. It looked like a real fish.
See,
real fish are not cute. They're not You would think so.
Play these ideas off of real people.
I just feel like I'm going to trash Disney a little bit, and the mouse will probably come after us. But Disney, it's legitimately a flounder. A flounder is a very ugly fish.
Yeah, those eyes
delicious, but ugly. Disney, in my opinion, now is just after cash.
Yeah,
they'll remake, reboot anything, and they don't care about the product. It's just how quick we push these out. I can name a dozen of them that have failed. Even the newer Marvel movies that they're pushing out really quickly.
There's too much.
They're garbage.
There's too many. I love Marvel stuff.
Right, and they're saturating the Star Wars market and the Marvel market.
Thank you.
I was always a big Peter Pan fan growing up. They made another film, I think, just called Pan a few years ago.
Yeah,
terrible.
I never saw it.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I know my wife always talks about it. I don't know if yours is. Is she in like the superhero realm?
Nah, I brought her to that one. She's a Disney
fence, yeah.
Okay.
Disney fanatic.
My wife always like, and you and I are like, I don't care how many there are, but like, how come they gotta keep making new Spider-Man movies?
Yeah,
aren't they all about the same thing? I'm like,
they're so good.
Yeah, but
I know.
No,
if you're a fan, I know.
And like,
you're passionate.
which one you like? Do you like, Tobey Maguire? Do you like Tom Holland?
Sure.
And then they brought them all back.
I know.
For the most
that
recent
was
one.
great.
It was so good.
Super good.
It was so good. The whole idea of like bringing in the multiverse was just so good.
This is a completely random, maybe a future one. Maybe you can fess up today, but we talked about a scene that made you tear up.
Yeah.
I got a little teared up when Tobey Maguire came out of the portal.
I literally just watched a clip of that the other day. I came across on my social media.
That was 2000. I was in high school, and Spider-Man was my dude. I was like, oh man.
I know.
That was so magical to me.
All right, so let's get back on track.
There we go.
All right, we're gonna draft.
Is this like a mashup episode?
Yeah.
Here?
I guess we're just going.
People are like, what are they talking about this episode?
All right, so we haven't decided the next order, so I think you guys should rock, paper, scissors for it. Best out of 3.
Best out of 3?
Yeah, best out of 3.
My little Ollie would be so good at this.
Do it for Ollie.
Rock, paper, scissors for it.
He goes, Dad, this is, you always do scissors in the second one.
Oh, really?
All right, well, now you know.
It's predictable. So, all right, so rocking round 2, okay. All right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
No,
scissors is my jam. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, you got me.
Okay, so
Blais is up
Blais
1.
is up 1.
All right.
Okay, best out of 3. Keep going.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
The scissors, Ollie?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, you got me. Rock.
All right, Mr. Blais, you get next pick in the
so proud of me.
holiday movie draft.
All right.
Good job, Ollie. You taught your dad well there. Good.
So I'm gonna go with Elf. That is,
okay.
And I think too, one of my main reasons for going for Elf is that it's not just my movie; it's like the family's movie. Because finding something for the whole family to watch and sit down and not complain.
Yeah,
true.
That is a feat almost equivalent to biblical, parting the Red Sea. There, I'm just going to say that.
This is dumb.
We have a 8-year-old, we have a boy in high school, and we have a senior in high school. So we have a lot of different things.
Sure.
My daughter is probably the most flexible out of all of them. So, thank you, Val. So yeah, Elf, and Will Ferrell is. It's hard to believe it's like over 2 decades old. Doesn't seem like it's that old.
I know.
True.
Does that mean I'm getting old?
But that's how time works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If you quantify it, yes.
Do the time warp again. So, yeah, I like it. It's one of those. I don't have a lot of movies that as it comes up, like the one of many lines comes up in the movie that I will go through and like get yelled at for saying the line before the line comes out or just being that guy. I have very, very few movies. Lord of the Rings and maybe Elf would be like 2 movies I can do that.
Yeah, quotability's high.
Yeah, totally.
High quotability.
Right.
I love just the lighthearted nature of it. I mean, Will Ferrell does a really good job of like playing a blithering idiot. And realizing that he's, spoiler alert, that he is really not an elf, but that's out there.
What?
I know we have the 2 year, we have the 2 week guideline, but this is like a 2 decade heads up.
True.
So, I love that. I love the humor, the nostalgia, because like when Santa's sleigh comes up, the dad's mouthing the words. You're like, no, Dad, you got to sing to give the energy, like that, the little like childhood like Christmas feeling, and that comes up. All of I love all lines and what he brings into the life when he interacts with everybody, from the guy in the mailroom. He's like, I didn't know you could put syrup in coffee.
Yeah.
And how he takes a dreary place like the mailroom and turns it into, sir, you got to come down to the mailroom. Your son's going crazy here. And they're just like dancing. And I think he was really a good dancer down in there on the mailroom.
Yeah, he's doing very athletic
kind of like that, like the Russian
move.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can't do that.
So yeah, I love all like the quotability of it. I just think it's fun. I like to see how like the story turns around. Like his dad is just like a curmudgeon, and how he gets him like the Ebenezer of the time to turn around, and it just I don't know. I get goosebumps every time like that sleigh, like like his dad starts singing, and the sleigh comes up and peeks up over. The bikers in the bar, and they're singing the whole culmination of it. But yeah, I just it's fun. It's just an all around fun, lighthearted movie, and that's my backing.
I think what I like about it is that like it makes me feel like a kid again. Again, it makes it almost okay for an adult to be excited, like Buddy's excited.
Yes,
because I feel like as we get older and as we become the more responsible parties in society, and it's you lose a little bit of the magic of the holidays.
Definitely.
And it almost stress overwhelms everything else. And I just like thinking like if I could just be like Buddy, like he just looks at all of the like best parts of everything and gets so excited. Do you remember being a kid just getting so excited about the simplest things?
Yes.
Like that's what Buddy is like. And that like I miss that.
I agree. From the outfits, like when he was just like, "Oh, purple, that's a
I know.
I like that."
Maybe that's in a weird way. If I feel like I'm playing the Scrooge role a little bit this time around. I forgot I did the Sith role that one time. The Scrooge role.
No,
you don't.
My pessimist dark
Panera.
side. Yes. Yeah, Panera. No. I do love Elf. It's a great movie. But what Miss Niles was saying, while I agreed with all of that, I think for me at least, that's a major thing that sometimes takes me out of that movie.
Okay.
It's like the lack of reality.
Okay.
Like, and I get the whole magical thing, so don't email us and spam us and say, no, it was supposed to be like a magical elf movie.
Angry voice.
Yeah. But like, I look at Buddy sometimes and I'm like, do I wish I could still be like that? And be like, oh, I'm eating syrup and like spaghetti and candy for breakfast. It's amazing. But then, yes, when we get saddled with real life, I'm also like, this does not make sense to me anymore. Like, it's not realistic. Like, I want to feel like I can connect with a character that's like, all right, has like holiday stress, is trying to do the shopping and like doing all that stuff as well.
Then you need to watch Bad Moms Christmas.
I never saw that one.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah, okay.
I actually I had forgotten about it.
Well, mine's going to be in that kind of vein.
That's what the theme of like that movie is. But cool. It's like being like a parent at Christmas and like, you'll
just
relate.
Yeah, just being like an adult. Yeah. And do I miss all of that nostalgic magic and like staying up all night and eating cookies? Of course.
Yeah.
But like Miss Niles said, it's so hard to feel. And I don't want to feel like I'm like faking it and saying like, let me watch Elf and I'll feel that way. And then the movie ends. You're like, all right, like back to reality. Like,
But it is nice to feel that way.
It is. It's elevating. It's the glow. And you're like, great.
Yeah. I think too. I mean, and some people like don't want to have like, well, it's, like you said, that's not a realistic, but for every down there's going to be some sort of up.
Absolutely.
And
I do like how they do balance it. Like Buddy gets a reality check in the movie. He finds out he's not an elf.
Right.
He's walking down the city streets, just bumping into people and doesn't care.
Right.
Like we all feel like that sometimes. So I did see they tried to incorporate that. So I did respect that too.
Yeah. And I like, neat thing, well, this is one of the things as I discovered that Jon Favreau had written, how he uses like a lesson I teach in photography, forced perspective. To make Buddy like seem a lot larger than everybody else.
Co-actors,
That was cool that they did it that way instead of like CGI.
Old school.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know who was going to be originally cast?
No.
Buddy?
I think we talked about Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
He would have been good, but like it's
he's more slapstick than Will Ferrell.
He's got the Grinch. Like
that's
he's
true.
already got his like Christmas perfect role.
And he was Scrooge in that Christmas Carol CGI one.
Right.
So
yeah.
Okay.
But
that's a good pick.
Yeah, right, Mr.
Like really solid. I think I kind of bridged both of the worlds.
Okay.
I'm going to go with my one that I did pitch first in the video. I did ponder it quite a bit.
Yep.
And I got some other ones in my wheelhouse, but I think I have to go with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
It's a great selection.
Yeah.
I just watched it recently, just watched it the other night, and as I'm watching, I'm mentally taking notes. To me, that film has everything Christmas related.
Yeah.
It starts off with getting the Christmas tree. You bring your family for this fun adventure. Sometimes things go haywire. then you're shopping in the mall, then you have your in-laws come over, then like this and this and this and the parade and the food and the dinner and all of that stuff combined. But in the end, despite all the chaos of normal adult life and Christmas time, the goods, the bads, the uglies, Clark's standing on the front yard, just like looking at the stars, looking at the lights, and he's like purely peaceful.
Yeah.
And to me, I think as an adult, that's what the holidays have become. Like are these beautiful things? Yes, like decorating and being like a kid again. But there's also a mix of those other things. Oh, and I feel like Christmas Vacation perfectly painted that image that it's okay to kind of go a little bit nuts sometimes, but then there's these great things also that happen.
Yeah.
So I'll go with that one. That's like my solid running back.
Yeah.
I give the football to every time, and he just keeps on going up the middle.
Yep.
It's been around since the 80s. So 89, so it has Home Alone by a year. So longevity's there.
Yep.
They've made a bunch of sequels. You want to talk about sequels? Spinoffs, sequels, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, Vegas Vacation, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Wally World.
Summer.
Yeah. So I think I'll go with that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the movie I watch while I wrap presents.
Yeah.
Everything's got its own categorization.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's yours and ours is White Christmas. Classic. Bing Crosby.
Sure.
I mean,
White Christmas is what I watch while I decorate the tree.
I was going to say, I was going to start throwing them out there. How about baking cookies?
Yeah.
I don't bake cookies.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, my mom does the baking.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Baking, well, I know like my sister-in-law is big cook. Super big cook. She'll bake on occasion, but usually if like our Sunday night dinner rotation for dessert, usually it's my wife. Like she'll go in and she'll bake.
Cool.
And I appreciate that. Yeah. It's a different. Well, you would agree,
vibe.
right? Baking is definitely more of a science too. Like both are, but sometimes baking.
Yeah.
Because if you're baking powder or soda is old.
Yes.
Like my wife when she starts doing the Christmas cookies, she buys new baking soda and baking powder because that will drastically you'll get flat. Nasty cookies.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So just no
educational.
Yeah.
I guess.
I neither did I. You know? I mean,
okay.
I've never been like a sweet tooth person. I do enjoy my like sweet treats from now, but I've never liked them enough to want to be a baker.
Right.
I'll bring the apps. Like you need a good buffalo chicken dip or
sometimes apps are better.
Or like
we said that with Thanksgiving.
I'll make that, but
give me the apps.
Yeah. I do the apps too for Thanksgiving.
You take the turkey.
Yep.
Yeah. Some people we were talking about that, like like it's tough. On Thanksgiving you have apps because that meal.
Yes.
Yeah. I know.
Like, that is a constant argument in my family's Thanksgiving agenda.
Well, like the ratio, how many apps to have to entree.
I'm not a huge Thanksgiving food fan.
Me neither. Right.
I like it. Yeah. I'm not like, oh my gosh, Thanksgiving cranberry turkey. Like I like it. I'll eat it. I enjoy it. It's good.
Right.
Do I think about it and like want it other times of the year? Never.
No.
It's not my thing.
No. Same here.
I like the apps. I like.
What's an app on your Thanksgiving?
So, I always do a charcuterie board because I love meat and cheese. Like it's just delicious. And I'll always do some kind of like baked brie or like I always do a buffalo chicken dip. Okay. We always do scallops wrapped in bacon, which is a weird one, but it's one that like delicious, my family has always liked.
Yeah, bacon.
We do pigs in a blanket with various mustards that we dip in. We always do a French onion dip with like a bread bowl. And
can we get that DoorDash in a couple
of
Right? I know.
I wasn't hungry before.
See, hey, you guys, Thanksgiving was a couple weeks ago.
You guys were talking ASMR food video. I was like, all right, now, but now I'm like, all right.
Now you're locked.
I've made spinach dip from scratch before. That one was really good.
Like, do you do like my sister will do like the big carved out bread bowl with that?
I do that every year. I'll have a bread bowl with something in it.
That one will destroy my dinners.
Yeah.
Because I'll just go to town.
Just
seriously.
the carbs.
Yeah, I know.
So good.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm into.
Yeah.
And I love that part. My mom makes the main course for the most part. I'll make the mac and cheese and I do the green bean casserole, but she does everything else.
Yeah.
And she gets so upset, and I get it. I 100% understand. We do apps at 1, we eat dinner at 5. Yeah. So you would think that everybody would be like hungry again for food, but nobody is.
Yeah.
And so that's why she wants everybody to be hungry for her meal.
Right.
So I get it. But the apps are my favorite part. So it's like we got to find
And if they're there, you're going to eat them. So like they're on the table. Like I'm going to snack on them.
I think what we have to do is we have to pack them up by like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then everybody chills for a couple hours.
Right.
Then we eat.
Well, and also Thanksgiving is one of those meals too that sometimes, like if you make a chili, for example, and you have it the next day, it's like sad, and then you warm it back up. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then you could make like your sandwiches, and I love we do like a hot turkey sandwich. And, with the gravy on there. Cool. Like we have usually a round 2. It's the first year in a while we didn't have a round 2 at somebody else's house, but we did our own round 2 at our own house. So
sounds awesome.
Yeah, there's always plenty.
Sure.
Always plenty.
All right, do you want to do
Speaking
one
of round 2? Yeah. We'll do a quick round, and then I'm curious. Miss Niles has some trivia questions and stuff.
I do. I have some.
That's really my jam. So
yes, it is.
Throw at you guys.
All right. Does the order stay the same? Round 2, or is it
it just loops around. Or we could do a snake. A snake is when it goes in the opposite order.
Oh.
Let's do that.
I wouldn't say no.
Let's do a snake. All right. So, Mr. Sawicki, you're up.
All right.
Back up.
I'm going to do this one in honor of Mr. Whipple, who couldn't be here.
Yeah.
Just watched it earlier in the week, and I know you guys did too, but I'm going with Die Hard.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the classic, unorthodox debate. It's probably the most debatable Christmas film. Is it a Christmas film? Is it not a Christmas film? We've heard the debates. It is. Let's get that done first and foremost. In the film, you have tons of, I know Ms. Niles and I were discussing before the episode, inside Nakatomi Plaza, it's Christmas.
It is. It's
the
Christmas.
entire
the film takes place on Christmas Eve.
Is decorated for Christmas. There's decorations, stuff. Even in the very end, when McClane's driving away with Holly, there's paper falling from the building from the explosion. It looks like snow.
It's not,
So I'm trying to I know, but it looks like snow. So let's see the element. Argyle's playing some Christmas music in the limo on the way there. Mm-hmm. So Christmas is peppered throughout. It's also not, and I do appreciate this, also not crammed in your face. Like Christmas, 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 Christmas.
Yeah.
There's also an incredible action plot, save the day situation going in the meantime. And one of which I will say, when that came out in '88, that became the model for action films for a good 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every other film was called, well, this is just Die Hard on an airplane, or this is Die Hard on a boat, or Die Hard in the subway tunnels.
It's almost
was that influential.
like a verb, but
like to pull a Die Hard.
Yeah.
And then how many sequels is that? 5 sequels? I think it was 5 total.
Know. I remember seeing the one where they go to Chernobyl. Was so bad.
that was the last one. That was bad. Yeah. So it's 2, 3, 4, and 5 was the last one.
It's like when it gets old, it's like I think like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I know. It's only believable so long.
I know. Like I mean, it's impressive to see these guys get back.
Well, poor Bruce Willis today. I think he's really bad shape right now.
Yeah,
I think he's officially retired, unfortunately. But
I think they say
again,
he
this whole
can't
time
talk
thing
anymore,
we've been bringing up. It is what it is.
Yeah,
but I loved it from an action standpoint, from the Christmas infused into the story, for the story itself. And my proof, I told Mr. Blais this before, we had one of our teens at home watch it with us, and she was like, it was incredible.
Yeah.
So a 17-year-old, or Audrey, approved. So I was like, cool. That stands the longevity, in my opinion. So I'll tell Die Hard. Thank you, Mr. Whipple.
Okay.
Carry that torch for you.
I also really enjoy Die Hard. It does not have a place in my Christmas routine. However, I still watch it every year.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Every year.
You make it a tradition.
Can you watch in other months?
No,
Summer,
I can't.
spring?
No. And that's something that I think we somewhat touched upon too earlier. I'm very much into the vibe of the film.
Yeah.
Like, what vibe does this film give off? Like, what seasonal vibe?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the season that I want to watch the film in.
Yeah, of course.
And so I can't watch Die Hard any other time of the year because I do get Christmas vibes from it. Like that's
right. Like I mean that's a touchy subject of like I think my little Ollie is like. He wants to watch. He got in a little bit of a bender, a Grinch bender. Jim Carrey Grinch.
Sure.
Okay.
And he was watching that. He has an iPad. And he was just, like, watching the Grinch.
Like, what are you doing there?
It's like, in the summertime.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, he was like, Dad, can we watch this or can we read this Christmas book he loves?
Yeah.
But he's just starting to read right now. It's such a sweet, sweet age.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a video. I just I make up a slideshow for each of my kids every year of the past year's events. And I had a video, this most recent one from when he turned 8, of him reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." But but the thing is, he loves that book so much, he wants to read it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I'm like,
It's like 4th of July.
I don't.
Dad, can we read this one? Like, no.
Can we do something different, bud? You know,
Right,
it's tough. That's the one thing. I mean,
sure.
A summer movie in the wintertime, I could probably get away with, but
I could, yes, because
it takes you out of the.
It takes you out of because winter it gets monotonous. You can go on a vacation.
Sure.
That would be typical in the wintertime.
Right.
So it takes you into that like headspace, but.
Right.
I could watch, it was Chevy Chase at Wally World, and
that's a good one.
You know, like around the winter time or something.
Maybe
like that.
People listening could let us know. Is there anybody that watches like a Christmas movie in like June? Oh, I'm gonna pop in It's Wonderful Life now.
Let us know.
I know that's so bizarre.
What isn't there? Oh my gosh, there's some people around me that I think I took a picture and posted one time. We were talking about Christmas decorations. You know, they have all the inflatables. They have like every holiday. There's like inflatables. They're at a one-story ranch and they have inflatables that are taller than the house.
Yeah, but they're specific to the holiday,
right? But they had what's it called? Christmas in June or Christmas in July?
Christmas in July is a thing.
Yeah, because it's exactly 6 months.
When did that come about? Like,
but that's kind of cool because it's July 25th, 6 months exactly.
We have this house near where I live that got one of those really tall, like 15-foot werewolves.
Yeah,
you see those? And they keep it up all year long, but they dress it up for each holiday.
I've seen the skeletons. People put like a Santa hat on it. Yeah.
The werewolf is just they put a little Santa suit on him for Christmas. For St. Patrick's Day, he had like a little like leprechaun hat on, which was kind of funny.
So here, Mr. Sawicki, you appreciate Christmas in July is believed to have originated in 1933 at Keystone Camp in Brevard, North Carolina.
Okay.
So Fannie Hall, a founder of Keystone Camp, created a celebration to give campers a unique holiday experience during the summer. The celebration included decorated tree, fake snow, carols, gift exchange.
Cool.
And there's
some Christmas
the 1940 movie Christmas in July. There's a movie.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
Well, no, that could be like, well, when you watch that, like,
sure,
like The Nightmare Before Christmas is another one.
Yeah.
It's like it's got
debatable.
It's got a Halloween vibe.
Is it Halloween, Christmas, or
I watch it.
Take the average
in between
at Thanksgiving.
It's a bridge movie.
Yeah,
sure. So I watch it in
Thanksgiving
November.
Classes.
Yeah,
it's like I love Halloween too.
Yeah,
so it's like I can still feel those spooky vibes, but then also get ready for Christmas.
Yeah,
cool.
So that's why I place that one.
That one has a high it's like cultish, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like
Tim Burton in general has a following.
Yeah, Coraline. I had a girl who did like a paper sculpture.
Awesome.
And she did like Coraline.
Yeah.
And it came out beautiful. But that whole style, like our teachers kind of moved into it and like, draw like you can Tim Burton yourself, you know? Like, so and I love doing that because it's such a very unique style.
Sure.
You know, like these characters are very elongated and dramatic.
Big eyes.
The eyes are huge, kind of like, you know, Funko Pops, you know, like if you draw yourself as a Funko Pop, you know, big head. And I like that because it teaches a little bit of observation and all.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Nightmare Before Christmas is.
So is that your second one?
Yeah. You're up, Mr. Blais.
You're up.
All right,
what's your
that would have been a nice twist. Like, and by the way, that's my second.
I know I should have. That has to be in a mood. I don't know what mood that is, but I have to be in that mood.
I
could put it on. The artistry in it and the Santa Claus in that movie creeps me out.
He is
like
very
the whole
creepy.
vibe, like the
Sandy Claus.
Sandy Claus,
Sandy Claus and
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie, yes, Oogie Boogie. Yeah, that whole scene kind of
that's creepy.
Like a sour taste in my mouth.
Well, the mother from Home Alone voiced one of the characters.
She did.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Sally, I don't know if it's Lock, Stock, or Barrel, but it's one of the three little trick or treater kids.
Oh, yeah.
Catherine O'Hara. Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman was one of them too.
Yep.
What am I?
Yep.
Some classics in there.
Nice.
So I mean, I'll go back to like my tried and true of Ralphie and the
that's Lee's going Lock, Stock, the 1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love this
Elephant Christmas Story.
I love it. I was talking to my little guy Ollie in the car the other night, and I'm like, have you seen that one? And I was telling him like, yeah. Well, and they have a part in the movie where they say, careful, don't shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
Dad, does he shoot his eye out? What happened? I'm like, well, you got to
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's pretty close, bud. You know, he ricochets it and he breaks his glasses and stuff like that. But funny, I don't know if I mentioned this last time we discussed, but you remember like how they ended up having to go out to dinner, right? Go to the Chinese restaurant. All that not appropriate.
Yeah, a little culturally insensitive nowadays. Yeah.
But you remember the scene where the dogs came in?
Yes.
And they took
Bumpus's ham.
They took all this turkey ham.
No, it's turkey.
It was turkey.
Turkey.
And so we had a scene almost like that. Thankfully, when we lived at our old house in Scotia, we had a ham, and I think I don't know if it was around Christmas time, maybe, and it was up there. We had already eaten, and my dog, we had a chocolate lab at the time, and she had gotten up and knocked it off. Okay, if you never heard a sound of a ham. A cooked ham hitting the floor.
Oh gosh!
It's quite, like,
trying to imagine now. Yeah,
I'm dying just thinking of it, and I'm like, She didn't know what to do. She was like,
This is like too good to be true.
I know, right?
Is this? It's like a white light was shining on the heavens above.
Yeah.
Like, this is
all for you.
Christmas.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to me.
That's great.
But yeah, they reminded me of that movie. Sure. Except like we already thankfully had our dinner. But
so relatability.
Yeah. And also there's an artist who was a phenomenal comic book artist. I'll have to send you the pictures later. Scotty Young is his name on Instagram. Cool. Really cool, unique style. And he did one of Ralphie in the pink, how happy he was to wear
the bunny suit
that his grandma I think gave him.
Yeah.
And he drew a picture of that, and it emphasizes his absolute sadness. Like his face was like melting off. Right. And then he did another one just today of Buddy running with the full elf costume on. He was like yelling Santa, like running, and
cool.
it just. I mean, so here's a current artist still utilizing both my favorites. Nice. I'm like, this is both my favorite movies. So
cool.
I think I remember like going out and like in the snow, and there's always some bully and and I don't know if I ever came and like busted up a bully like quite like Ralphie did. He just went like
he went ham.
On him.
Insane.
Yep.
Psychotic breakdown. But yeah, like I had like moon boots. You guys ever hear of moon boots?
Oh gosh, we all had them.
Right?
Yeah.
And I had, like everyone, if you didn't know, like Google it, and I had to wear the plastic bags on the inside because they were not waterproof at all.
Sure.
But they sure looked cool.
They did.
But and his dad 80s, too. Man. Like his dad was, like fairly quiet, but like when he'd get upset and go down in the basement. I remember my dad would go down in the basement, and he's like, the words that he said were not even comprehensible. Right. And I love one of my favorite parts from that is just the guy who does like the narrating.
Yeah,
the top.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Is that Daniel Stern?
I don't know. That's a good question.
IMDb, look that up.
Yeah.
That would be a connection. It's like all of these movies are connected.
Yeah, right.
In some way, shape, or form.
Same weird universe.
I know.
While you're looking that up, my only unpopular take, I've never seen that movie start to finish.
What?
Yeah. I've never sat down and watched Christmas Story.
Well, then you need to.
Start to finish. But I feel like I've seen most of it. A bit here, a bit here, a bit here, a bit here.
Yeah.
They used to do this thing before streaming.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. They would play A Christmas Story all day long.
24 hours.
24 hours of it on one of the, cable
TNT
channels.
or something, TBS.
And so we would just have it on.
Yeah.
Like it would just be on in the background on Christmas Day. It got to the point where we got a little sick of it.
Yeah.
Like it was always on.
Sure. And I think they've done the same with Elf too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name, before I forget, is Gene Shepherd.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Elf does have a bit of oversaturation, I think, too. Because you see like the T-shirts and stuff still. And, like, I mean, that's cool and stuff, but I just feel like it's a lot out there.
There is.
It.
Well, and it's funny. I was out for I don't know if I was in the car, or I was out on a run the other day. But I had seen, it was actually last night when I was picking up some at Ollie's sitter's house. And I didn't know that the people that watch me in the morning, that they were fans of The Christmas Story because they had a certain lamp in the window.
The leg lamp. Major reward.
They must be Italian.
Yeah. Yep. Here's I'll just show you guys a quick photo. I know this is radio.
Okay.
The bad effects of oversaturation with so many products. This is at Lowe's. You can get a life-size Buddy the Elf animatronic. Oh my
gosh.
And just mass-produced. Is that not pure?
Oh no,
pure nightmare fuel.
Like it should be in the Saw movie.
Buddy's face looks like it's like another person's face.
He looks like
Buddy,
he's been crying for like a week straight. Look at his eyes are like red rimmed.
That's like terrifying. So when I saw that, I was like, this movie's getting too big. Now they're making terrifying products.
Yeah.
They need to start,
Not doing that.
Like, remember Disney had the vault? Go put it in the vault for a while.
Yes, yeah.
Let it marinate and then bring it back out. And the Christmas Story 24-hour marathon, that did it for me too. I was like, I remember hating it as a teen.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to watch this. This film's always on.
Right. I can see that. And you have to send me that. Maybe that'd be good for socials there. That picture. If you have it. I haven't seen that one, but I've seen the inflatable. So it was just kind of like, like those old punching bags you could hit and it'd come back to you, right?
Yeah, the
so they had one like that of, like Will Ferrell like this.
He's in that like crouching, like
just like
screaming
pose. Sort of thing. But the movie it's tough, I mean, but also at the same time, I mean, you were when those were on, you were kind of just at the mercy of TV,
cable, right?
And kids don't know like how
limited our options were.
I know,
and how we had to be back in time, when the commercial break occurred, or else you'd miss your show. Then there was no DVR,
right?
No,
you couldn't just pause the show.
No, those specials were on.
You couldn't fast forward through anything.
Right. You had to wait, and I don't know about you guys, but I mean. We didn't have cable. Do you guys have cable?
We did.
Not till I was a teenager.
Yeah.
We had cable.
I was growing up. Yeah. I mean, everyone had a friend.
Sure.
That had cable.
My grandma had it. Yeah.
We were TV people, so we had cable.
Yeah. But I remember because we had the TV that was not it was furniture.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
weight 8,000 pounds. Yeah.
Nowadays, I could move we have a flat panel TV. It's 50 inches, and it's.
Sure.
I could move that by myself. As long as my arms can reach on both sides, I could carry it.
Sure.
But that other TV, it's like my dad and I were struggling.
Totally.
Yeah. To lift that thing. I mean, it was something else.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Man, oh man.
All right, Miss Niles.
All right. So I want to preface this by saying that all of your choices are also my choices.
Okay.
Like they supersede my next choice.
Ooh, so we stole it?
No, I wouldn't say stole it, but my next choice is going to be Home Alone 2.
Okay.
And so I
like that 1-2 punch. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sticking with Home Alone 2 because we kind of touched upon the whole sequels discussion and whether or not like certain movies should have a sequel. And then, we also have to talk about sometimes the sequel is just as good, if not better than the original. And I feel that way about Home Alone 2.
Okay.
I like it just as much as the original Home Alone.
Yep.
There are sometimes that's actually the vibe I want more.
Right.
Because it's got New York City as
and that's classic.
Classic. Right. And it's somewhere that we've all been usually more than once since we live in New York.
Right.
So I really like the setting of the movie. And then there's that additional luxury component that being Plaza Hotel adds to the plot, which is just when you're a little kid,
I know.
It's a dream. All the things he gets to do I'm sure everybody's seen the movie, but instead of being left home alone in the second one, Kevin gets on the wrong airplane. So he ends up from Chicago in New York, where his family ends up in Miami from Chicago. And so one of the things that works in Kevin's favor is that he accidentally took his dad's wallet with him. So he's got this is the age where you charge something on a credit card, it doesn't go through a computer system right away.
Right.
They make an imprint of the card, and so there's no way to see if it's going to clear or not.
Yep.
Yeah, the little credit card machines. So this is I'm hit my mic.
Yeah.
This is that
timing.
Would this happen nowadays or be able to happen?
Or even
nowadays?
getting on the plane. He bumps to the lady. She's like, "Yeah, go ahead, get on the plane." Yeah. Today it's
no
where's your boarding pass? Where's your passport? Where's your 2 forms of ID?
It.
Yeah. Right. And you have your on your phone, you use the ticket.
Yep,
now
exactly.
All my tickets for everything are from my phone now.
We watched it too.
Same thing.
Yeah. I laughed out loud when Uncle Frank was like, "We're never going to make this plane. It leaves in 45 minutes." Yeah, today's world, you would not make that plane.
No,
at
we
all.
experienced that dropping my daughter off one time, and we could get a parent pass and go with her. And we go up, and we didn't even realize the day it was predating a holiday. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even thinking of that. And we literally dropped her off, and she was they were last call, and boom.
Yeah, that happened to me last year. I didn't expect it. I did a lot of traveling last year. On one of my trips, I showed up the exact 2 hours early, you're supposed to at the airport. and the line, the security line, because there's construction at our local airport, was so long. I thought I was going to miss my plane, but I ended up being that person that walked right on the plane.
Right.
Like it's scary. Yeah, it's scary.
It is.
Sure.
I mean, and then at that point, you know, good.
Yeah. And that was 2 hours.
Yeah.
At a time, not like, you know, 45 minutes.
Yeah. So we were an hour, and that was in Albany.
Yeah.
As we
That's where mine was too.
Albany Airport.
Yep. Yeah. Albany Airport. It's not international.
The other thing that I like about it was that in the sequel for Home Alone 2, they got all the actors back.
Yeah, that was
cool. So that continuity is so important to me. Yeah, like all the family members were the same. Yeah, the robbers were the same actors. Yeah. Like everybody was the same.
The only real change was like the side mentor. Who'd you like better? The South Bend shovel slayer or the bird lady?
I relate so hard to the bird lady.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I just wish that I could just live on my own and go to the park every day and
sneak into the Lincoln Center all the time and
sneak in to get free shows at the Lincoln Center. Like, you know, just do like
she's just living her life. Yeah.
Not interact with people unless I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like she's my spirit animal.
She got that vibe.
Like, she does. I relate so hard to the bird lady.
Yep.
I mean, what about you, Ms. Sawicki? You like?
Yeah, I go with that too because like I love the idea of being somewhere like super chaotic, but also observing it kind of from afar, almost like an out of body experience.
Yeah,
and I love that scene where she's looking down at the chaos in Lincoln Center, and she's like the only one there.
Yeah,
to be able to take in that full peaceful kind of vibe. I dig that. That's a
good point. I didn't think about that initially. I would say that I would have gone with the like what do you call him the
South Bend shovel slayer.
I forget his real name. Did we ever know his real name?
I don't know.
Man,
do we?
Good trivia question. We ever?
Who is the South Bend shovel slayer?
Does Buzz say when they're looking down at him for the first time? Like,
that's what he says.
You see that old guy out there?
Is it Mr. something? Like, is there at least a last name?
Wow, this is we're failing.
Old man Marley.
He says Old Man Marley.
That's got to be a play on Christmas.
You ever hear of the South Bend shovel slayer? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys see? I don't know if you saw this on the socials, but they're actually selling at the Plaza Hotel currently the 2 different hats that Kevin wears in the movies.
Cool.
Yeah. So the one that I like is the one he wore in the first movie. It's like reindeers.
Yeah,
like tan with the red reindeers on it.
That is another one. Like what's on Kevin's first hat?
Yeah. Or shout out to Mr. Van Wee, one of our other guests. Yeah. He and I challenged each other one Halloween, I think it was, do casual cosplay in school. We came and just like dressed. I dressed like Marty McFly.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
And Mrs. Keith was the only person to be like, "Why are you dressed like Marty McFly?" He loves
Back to the Future movies.
He did Kevin from the first movie. He has the hat and stuff, and I was like, Kevin McAllister, got you.
That's a good one.
I think my son dressed up as him when we did a dress like your favorite movie.
Oh, cool.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And I did, of course, because White Christmas was, my wife and I, we went with like a joint theme. And, the theme, like from Bing Crosby is they're doing like, when they're playing Taken for the Girls and they're like, sisters.
Oh, yeah.
So I wore the shirt, I rolled up, I got the little sock.
The little like.
What it was called. It's like,
Did you have a boa or something?
Yeah. I had something. I think. I have to see if I can.
We're gonna need to see these photos. I'm afraid.
Evidence.
That's classic.
Make a note here.
Come on, student council here. We have like Spirit Week coming up. Like we should do like a Christmas character day or something.
I was just gonna suggest.
That'd be awesome. I know.
Burnt Hills, upstate New York school. At the high school they're doing a Christmas
that'd be so popular.
We do so they did put out the themes for this year.
Yeah,
they're good. They're a little bit different than
instead of the same old.
Yeah. But I love the idea of kind of like incorporating more cosplay or like almost like it's like those of you who like Halloween,
right?
You can still participate in this Christmas spirit.
Totally.
Because twinning is, sometimes kind of hard sometimes depending on.
Sometimes we do it by accident.
They didn't do a twinning one this year.
Today. Hey, we're twinning.
No,
all right, I'm calling John McClane. I'm coming in like a tank top and like no shoes on.
Yeah, I know.
Got my radio.
That's a good question. So who would you dress up as if you could do?
I know, that is a good one.
Would it be from your favorite movie?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I'm not coming in a blood splatter tank top.
Someone's got to wear like the Clark Griswold hockey shirt or like
that's
the pajamas.
Classic. Yep.
Yeah.
The dinosaur pajamas.
Yep. That's a good one.
As Randy Quaid with the
cousin Eddie.
Mr. Blais, that would be so good.
Merry Christmas.
Cigar with a cigar.
Yeah, it's a cigar thing. Yeah.
Cigar and a beer in hand. Yeah.
Morning. Dump into like the sewage.
That's
great.
That's a good
classic.
one. All right. Oh yeah, I mean, we'll have to brainstorm and get back to you on that one.
There,
yeah.
I think there's like a Funko Pop. Of,
yeah.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah,
there's an inflatable of that. There's him in his RV.
That's a classic character.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Cousin Eddie. He represents every family has that one bizarre oddball. Man.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yes.
Yep.
That's almost worse than the grandma like pinching. Like Allie was asking, like, why do people pinch your cheek then?
Yep.
And I was like, I have no idea.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe because it's chunky, and now he's gotten out of that phase.
Yeah.
He's getting cutesy. A long face and getting no more round face boy.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That was good picks.
Yeah.
A couple of different ones there. I liked it. Cool.
All right. So if you guys are ready.
I'm ready. Trivia time.
It's not really trivia. So
whatever.
I've got some lines from some
some
Christmas movies, some famous lines.
Okay. All right, cool.
Some are more obvious than others. Some are from movies that we've already talked about. And so I'm gonna read a line. It's from a famous Christmas movie that we've all heard of. I want to see if you guys can figure out what it is. Okay. So let me go with our first line. All right, I'll start with a really easy one. I know that you guys will all get this one. Are you ready?
Sure.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. Good.
Buddy the Elf.
Buddy the Elf. Buddy the Elf. Okay.
I don't know if characters are filmed.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could say the character or you could say just the movie that it's from. Okay. So this is one that we didn't talk about.
Okay.
Hold on. It went blank on me. Okay. This is one we didn't talk about, but it is a really famous one that some people, it's also highly debated.
Okay.
Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing.
Oh. I know it. I'll give you a second to chime in. This is a great film. It was really fantastic. The sequel stunk. How's it going?
Old? Real old? No.
Nah, 94. 94, 5.
It's not a Santa Claus movie, is it?
It is. Starring Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to...
Yeah.
The Santa Claus was 94.
94.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
That was the kid, right? The son said it?
It was.
Yeah. Or
Charlie?
Charlie,
Charlie's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a handle.
That's
Charlie
another
Calvin.
one that I love.
Scott Calvin.
Yeah, Scott Calvin, SC, Santa Claus.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great one. I kind of forgot about that one.
Yes.
Something that I am always concerned about, though, with that movie. So, like, the new Santa Claus. So when Tim Allen first arrives at the North Pole, nobody's sad.
I know.
About the fact that the other Santa Claus
that they probably knew for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dark theories down that one too. Like
is
that.
There? I've always wondered. I'm like, why aren't they sad?
Did that Santa just like say, "All right, I'm giving up on this"? Like, because he just falls off the roof.
He falls off the roof,
right? And then he just
right, yeah.
And then
he just like waves goodbye
Tim
in
Allen becomes
snowbank.
Santa Claus, but when a new Santa Claus shows up at the North Pole, nobody seems to really care that the old one was gone.
Yeah.
But then in the future,
care about that there is a Santa Claus.
Yeah, right.
If there's not one.
Elves are very in the present.
That's when things go haywire.
But maybe that Santa was just like, look, I'm sick of doing this. Like,
maybe.
Yeah.
Did you? Maybe. I know we talked about last year. I just jogged my memory. Did you see that movie with David Harbour? Is it? From Stranger Things?
I did. It's called Violent Night.
Violent Night, yes.
Yeah,
There's a similar theory that he has been Santa since like the Norse times, like 1200s, and he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yes.
So maybe something like that.
That was the whole theme of that movie, and then he does decide to fight for it. And he does decide to fight for his role as Santa Claus.
Sure.
Like he realizes that it's worth it and that it's something that he wants.
That'll have to put that on the list. That'll be
that'll be an adult mom and dad date night movie.
Sorry.
That's not for the littles.
No PG-13s on that one.
It's very, very violent. Okay. That's why it's called Violent Night.
He has a sledgehammer.
Yeah. It's very violent.
What happens with that? Yes.
Yeah. Be careful with that one.
All right, cool. So we have Santa Claus.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So here's another movie that is well known, but we haven't talked about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
The bell still rings for all who truly believe.
Mm-hmm. I think I know it. Yep.
I was thinking old. Too old, probably.
Is it Polar Express?
It is. Very good.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, good. Yeah. I do like that. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Because that's the Josh Groban song.
And that's the whole
I remember
concept. If you don't believe, you don't hear the bell ringing anymore.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So this one, I just like this one. Maybe Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more.
The rhyme scheme gives it away.
Yeah, it does.
Oh. I remember it is fried.
Call up your son, Ollie.
Yeah, what's he into?
Phone a friend.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, he actually named the movie that I didn't even remember. I hadn't seen yet.
That's the original Grinch.
The Grinch.
There was a cartoon, the TV Spirit.
One.
That was the final line, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Wait, it's the original, like...
The cartoon.
The Dr. Seuss cartoon.
Okay.
Was it 60s that came out?
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
Sure. Yeah, we watched that a couple weeks ago.
I'm reading through this list, and it's naming some movies here that I guess could be considered Christmas movies.
That was a big topic I was going to bring up before, too. Like,
yeah.
What, like, sorry, not to cut you off, but like Iron Man 3.
Yes.
It's set at Christmas.
It is set at Christmas, and I do usually watch it at Christmas time.
But like to me, that's not a Christmas movie.
It's not
at
a Christmas
all.
movie, but it's set at Christmas.
In the Die Hard.
But I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch it.
I won't watch it
in the summer because Christmas is an underlying theme throughout the whole movie.
The decor and the setting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. When did it come out? Was it? It wasn't at Christmas. Was
it? Yeah, it was.
Did.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay. It was into the year.
It did.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. What do you got next?
All right. So here's one that people, I don't know if you'll get this one, but here's the one that people talk about a lot. It's a classic. Remember, no man is a failure who has friends.
I know I've heard it. Jeepers.
It's a classic.
Classic.
Yeah. Like as in from the 40s.
Yeah.
That's a Wonderful Life.
It is.
It
is.
There you go.
Very good, Mr.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That one I don't watch every year. That's like a...
Yeah.
That was heavy.
It's heavy and it's long.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like, reading a lighthearted. Like
sure. I get the idea, but I'm just like, I can't get... it's a good fall asleep movie. Like, I'm going to doze off now.
Well, it'd be a good, like, discussion movie, like if you're watching it with, but...
Sure.
One that we haven't talked about yet, that I also really enjoy and thought about was Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like those movies.
Yeah.
I love those movies, and I love the idea of using the mail, the post letters to Santa at the end as proof that Santa Claus exists.
Yes.
Yep.
Like I thought that was really cool.
Sure.
Yeah, Ollie wrote, I don't know if he wrote last year, but this year he's writing, and reading, and it's like a growth, like learning wise, and he wrote a letter to Santa this year.
Yeah, cool.
That we're going to deliver for him. So
very awesome.
I'm like, it's just cool.
Well, I hope he gets...
like you're reliving.
Definitely vicariously. Yeah, totally.
Which is fun.
Very nice. Yep, I do like that movie, but too heavy. You nailed it perfectly.
It's
like
super heavy.
The feels, you're like, oh my gosh, the stuff this guy's going through. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You want like a little bit of Elf, or you want
like,
a
little bit more of like the cheer and the happiness. Right.
All right, so here's another movie we haven't talked about, but one that we've all at some point seen. I never thought it was such a bad little tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love.
Yep. Classic Mr. Blais.
Charlie Brown.
Yes, very good. Yeah.
That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
We joke around. Like, when we were going out, we didn't chop one down this year. We found one. Our place that we were going to go, I don't know if I said.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're saying that, yeah.
And it was like, I'm like, wait, I thought it was open. I'm like, doesn't Friday count as a weekend? I don't know. But we got one. But we'll go and be like, oh, that's a Charlie Brown tree right there.
Yeah.
You can pick one out.
So something that I heard, and as a science person, I should probably know more about this, but I will admit I don't. I had heard that a lot of the trees this year were incredibly sparse because we had such a dry season, a dry growing season leading right up until the holiday season. So I wonder if that was,
I mean, the tree we got was pretty. It was a fir. I think a Douglas fir. It's got kind of like, the branches, like the needles are really soft. So
I like the soft needles
because when you're putting the lights on,
you need the soft needles. There was one year, so we have a really high ceiling in our living room, and so one year we were like, all right, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna get a 15-foot Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And so we did, but it was so prickly. So it was like super tall, so I had to use the ladder to like even put the lights on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I think I had cuts all over my hands when I was done because it was so prickly. It wasn't worth it.
Oh.
Yep.
All right, I've got one more
for
us. But sir, Christmas is a time for giving, a time to be with one's family. Another classic.
I get the vibe of the character, but I don't know if there's a specific version of it.
Is that the one with Scrooge?
Yeah, Christmas Carol. Yeah,
Christmas Carol.
That's who's that? Cratchit saying that? Yeah,
it's Cratchit.
But I don't know if it was like the original one. I'm thinking Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wait, is it Tiny? No.
It's Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
But
right?
Bob Cratchit is the employee.
The employee.
Sure.
And Tiny Tim is
his son.
That might be another one that gets me teary eyed.
Yeah.
When Tiny Tim's dead, and you're like, oh my gosh, the feels.
Wasn't there a song? I'm trying to remember, like a Christmas song, Christmas Shoes.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me. Reminds me of that.
It's about
vibe,
a kid wanting to buy shoes for his mom.
Yeah, and it just, I'm like, my wife loves the song, and I do too. But again, it's just like I'm not going to listen to it as I'm drinking a coffee in the morning.
Like, what is it about humans that like sometimes we like doing things that make us sad? Because you get that emotion going. Like, is that like the same thing for you go see a scary movie?
Sure.
We like that terrifying
we like
feeling.
the relief that we feel knowing that when we walk out of that movie, we're safe.
But you also like the adrenaline boost.
Right.
I feel like maybe it's the same thing with these sad, sappy things. Like you want to watch and bawl your eyes out and be like, "Oh, I feel so good." After like, what?
I think it's the I think it goes back to what you were talking about earlier. It's the relatability.
Yeah,
it's almost nice to. And I hate this is so like not great, but it's almost nice to see other people when they're sad.
I know, right? Because it puts in perspective
it makes
for
you feel better about having sad times sometimes.
Sure,
right.
Totally.
It's okay. It's about, like we say, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's about what you do with it.
Everybody feels that way at some point.
You're going to encounter it.
And it's sometimes comforting to know that other people feel that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
So you feel not so alone.
No. Totally agree.
That's
well, cool. Yeah. Thanks for the quotes. That was awesome.
Lovely.
Yeah, all but the one of them, I think.
You guys did great with that.
Give myself an A-.
I've got other ones, but they're from the movies that we've already discussed. So you're gonna know those. I tried to pick ones. Yippee-ki-yay is on here for sure.
Yeah.
And then of course, keep the change, you filthy animal.
It would have been cool, like
Minnie Muggins.
If we do it again next year, you got to go very specific, like if I just said "Hiya, pal."
Well, yeah, we would know that.
And you kind of do it in the voice, the inflection, like, "Oh, that's Marv from Home Alone."
Buzz, your girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sorry. So for future reference, write this down. We'll do a quote competition, but you have to name the movie and the character.
All right, cool.
Who said that quote?
Yep. Dig it.
And that
I think
way
we're all
we can
experts
take some
now.
more specific deep cut quotes, but from these well-known movies.
Yep. I like it.
All right.
But we got Christmas 2025. Like already planned out.
Right.
So.
Hey, look at that. Look at us ahead of the game.
Yeah, I know. Look at this. A whole year. Yeah.
Love it.
What time is Santa coming?
Christmas Eve?
No.
What?
We're just talking like finishing the line.
Oh.
What time is Santa coming?
Tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah.
8 a.m.
Santa's here. Yeah.
I get what you're going with that.
8 a.m.
I thought you were getting some kind of weird sign.
I know. I was like, do we have a tradition? I don't know what Santa. I don't know what time Santa comes to my house.
I know. Yeah.
Like, shallow.
Do I have to time it now?
I need more time to calculate how fast is Santa's sleigh moving.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did
that. I did that
once.
Santa Tracker?
Yeah, I do.
We watch it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool to see that.
Yep. See where he is.
Oh, the kid know. Like, I think that that's a neat how it came to be, too.
It is, because we didn't have that as kids.
No, totally. That was nice.
But the weatherman would, like, on the evening news, the weatherman would always update us.
Say where he is.
Yeah, I think it was NORAD. Yeah.
NORAD does
I
one.
think so.
I like Google's better. Google does a
and they like to
cool
shows packages like delivered.
The world map where he is.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
I'm just a little personally bummed, so Google, if you hear Santa never comes to upstate New York on the Google map.
Oh,
he goes to New York City and he goes like, all right, here I come, Cleveland, somewhere else.
That's not okay.
I know. He goes like to Boston, New York, Philly, and then like to the Midwest.
Oh, I wanted to just like...
I'm sure it's implied that he's like zipping across the state.
Right,
smack my microphone, it trickles down,
The magic allows for the whole state to be...
But just once, I went to the park in Albany or something, that'd be cool.
Right, like cool. Christmas Chronicles, like, that kind of...
was a good movie,
good one.
Very good film.
It showed, you know, like when you're moving, like, it's like...
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, favorite. Here's one. If you haven't watched it, like you're talking about, like nostalgic feel. I didn't have this. I didn't want to put it in there. I mean, it's is Arthur's Christmas.
Never seen it.
Bits and pieces.
You know
I've never
why?
seen the whole thing.
I love about it because it really gets into the magic of like, okay, like a little kid, like you're talking about watchability, right?
Sure.
And like, how would Santa, what would he need to get this job done? Like in current day. I mean, I don't know if a reindeer is going to be going Mach 30.
Sure.
but this ship in Arthur's Christmas gets the job done. Okay. And the way the elves come down Mission Impossible style.
That's awesome.
And
I have to check it out now.
It's such a great movie. I like.
Is that animated or is that the live?
It's an animated one, but I like the style of animation. If you watch it, you definitely have to. I think I have to put that up there. That'd be like one of my must watches.
Could recommend. Yeah,
and it's got the lineage of it's like Santa Claus and Grandpa Claus, and one son wants to be in the role of Santa Claus, but maybe or maybe not. It's for him, and then you have a bumbling son that you don't know what he's doing.
See, I was getting confused with Fred Claus.
I've never seen that one either.
No,
it's a similar thing where his brother is Santa.
Yeah.
So cool. Good recommend.
Yeah,
I like
a good
it.
one. Definitely a good one. I like Arthur's Christmas. Yeah,
very nice.
All right, everybody.
Well, I feel festive. That's good.
Definitely.
I kind of want to watch a Christmas movie tonight.
I think
I think so. I think I'm done watching regular series or something. Can we just watch Christmas stuff?
Christmas time.
On and just bend it.
I think I might watch Die Hard tonight.
Yes.
I haven't watched it all the way through yet.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
sounds
maybe
good.
Die Hard too because it's snowing and it's actually
no, I'm skipping right
it's actually Christmassy.
Die Hard with a vengeance.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful folks.
All right,
everybody.
Maybe we'll see you on a YouTube short, or maybe not. But either way, whatever you celebrate, Festivus for the rest of us, as they say.
Cool.
Do they still say that?
Sure.
Yeah. Why not? Somebody does.
All right.
We do.
See you guys next time.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye. Happy holidays.